Hi everybody, welcome back to my Flosstube channel. My name is Cameron. I go by Cam the Stitcher here on Flosstube and on Instagram. And today, you've already read the title, we're doing a 2023 finish parade. So I have lots of whips. If you are new to this channel, I have lots of whips. I like working on lots of things. But I also have finished a good amount of stuff this year. So even though I started a bunch this year, I also finished quite a few. So essentially today, a finish parade, all it is I'm just going to show you every cross stitch piece that I finished, whether I FFO'd it, which is a fully finished object, or if I just finished the stitching on it. I'm going to show you all of them today. So I'm pretty excited. I am going to start with two framed pieces just to get them out of the way because I'm not going to remember. I'm going to try to go in order from like when I first finished to most recently, essentially. So like the oldest finish to the newest finish. But I'm going to get the frame pieces out of the way. I'm also going to get a couple of pieces that are no longer in my possession or that I can't find right now. I'm gonna go ahead and get those out of the way and insert a picture of those finishes. So let's start with those. The first one I'll talk about was my oldest whip that I finished. This was, I called it Village Landscape. It was a Luca S kit that I bought on Etsy a long time ago. I started this in 2021 and I finally finished it this year. I talked about it on my channel. It didn't bring me a lot of joy. I stitched on it during a time in my life that I wasn't the happiest. I worked on it a lot at a job where I was not happy. And so I ended up actually giving this away to a family member. I didn't want it. So that was a full coverage piece. It is out of my possession. I gave them, I said, you can wash it yourself and you can frame it yourself if you'd like. I don't want it. And they were very happy to take it. So I'm happy that is somewhere where it is being cherished and not in a drawer at my house. The next one I'll talk about that is no longer with me. This is Starry Night mini masterpiece. I also gave this to the same person. I just didn't have any attachment to this. It was just one of those ones I thought I was going to do so many of these and then I just stopped. So I went ahead and gifted that as well. So again, that was just like a full coverage little mini stitch that I did in April of this year. And then two that I can't find for the life of me because they're on the same piece of fabric and I want to do more of these from the series. This is Autumn Colors by Bendy Stitchy and Mom's the Word by Pixel Pixie Cross Stitch. So these were both from the Cottage Garden Threads Autumn Garden series, and I finished both of these this year. I did not fully finish them. They're still on the same piece of fabric. I'm gonna do more of them with the same threads. So I think they're in a project bag somewhere. I looked, I can't find them, but I'm happy that I have both of those done. And then the other one that I, for the life of me, can't find is Ghostface Valentine. This is by the Witchy Stitcher. This was a Patreon pattern. I started and finished this year. I started it in February and finished it in March. And I love it. And I have it already mounted on some sticky board. And I think that I was trying to fit it into a frame, like probably a couple months ago at this point, and it didn't fit. And so then I don't know where I put it after that. It is somewhere in this apartment, I promise. But those were the finishes that I can't find or that I've gifted away, but it's okay. They were finished this year and I'm happy about that. So let's show you some framed pieces. I want to also let you know right off the bat, I finished 25 things this year. So some of those were whips left over from 2022 and 2021, as I just said. And then some of them were starts and finishes in the year of 2023. But the one I'm about to show you does not count towards the 25, but I wanted to show you because I just framed this today. It is not perfect. Okay. I know that constructive criticism can be helpful. In this case, I am my worst critic. I already know this isn't the straightest lacing job I could have done. I did my best. I got frustrated, and we'll leave it at that, okay? So this is the, I finished this piece in 2022. This is the Supernatural Stitch Along by the Witchy Stitcher, and I'm gonna show it to you. It's a huge frame, so bear with me, and you're gonna see some light. Oh, she's huge and she's gorgeous. This is one of the first finishes I showed on my channel at the end of 2022 when I started my channel. And she's in a frame. And you know what? Yeah, she's not perfect. Could be straighter, could be better, but she is not sitting in a drawer anymore. And I'm gonna put her up on my walls. And I'm pretty happy about it. I got this frame from Michael's with a 50% off coupon, and I had $10 reward voucher. I'm about them deals, okay? And yeah, I'm really excited about having this up. It is very cute, but yeah, so I did finish this in 2022, not this year, but I wanted to show it since I just FFO'd it. And it will be on my wall shortly. I don't know what wall, because the one behind me, there is not room for this. Realistically, yeah, this is too big. So I might put it on another wall. But this next framed piece, this was a finish in 2022, or 2023, excuse me, what year is it? And I bought this frame at Michael's as well, like several months ago, and I just let it sit there and I didn't feel like framing it. But it was perfect for this piece, so I finally framed it yesterday. It's also not perfect, and I'll tell you exactly what mistake I made so you all can learn from my mistakes if you have never framed, or if you've only framed a couple of times like me. I'll tell you exactly what I did wrong. But anyways, this is the Greenhouse of Oddities Stitch Along by Lola Crow Cross Stitch that I finished and started this year. So this was a SAL that a part released weekly, and I'm really happy that I finished it this year. I also finished in 2022, I finished her Stitch Along The Haunted Library that is behind me. Don't worry guys, this one is gonna go on this wall. I think I might like actually put it like down here. Because I want to fill up this space. Since I film here, I feel like it makes sense to fill up the bottom part of this wall. So I think that's where I'm going to put it. Anyways, this, I have not talked about anything I've stitched these things on. It's fine. I stitched this on a 32 count Timberwolf by Seraphim. I stitched it with 2/2 with all the called for DMC. And this frame again is also from Michael's. It's an 11 by, what's the size? 11 by 14. It's a standard size. Not 11 by 14, 11 by 17. There we go. 11 by 17, I think, is the size of the frame. It went in the same size frame that Haunted Library did, which was really nice. So I just went and picked one out that I liked. But let me talk about what I did wrong. So as you can see, I did not put glass on this, and that is because it would not fit with the glass in it. So what I ended up doing was I cut out a piece of board or whatever, display board, whatever you want to call it, to lace this onto. And all I did was I took this part and I traced that onto the thing and then cut that out, right? Well, I went ahead and just started lacing my project on it, not thinking, because I don't know, again, I'm new at this, so I did that, and then I tried to pop the laced piece into the frame, and of course, the board, I did not try to fit the board into the frame before I started lacing it on, and I'd already laced it fully on. And anyways, so essentially it didn't fit. The board that I cut was a little too big, so I got really frustrated. I took the glass out of the frame, tried to fit it in, and I pushed it, like I forced it into the frame because I was so frustrated. I'm not telling you to do what I'm doing. I'm just telling you what I did. And anyways, it's caused this like 3D effect because the board is kind of like concave or convex. I can't remember science terms, but you know what I'm talking about. So it looks fine. Honestly, it looks like I did one of those more pillowy finishes on a frame, like put batting underneath it or something. I didn't, but again, this was sitting in a drawer and now it's in a frame. It doesn't bother me that much. I'm going to put it up and it's going to be in these videos and that's going to make me happy. So, yeah, so don't do what I did. So what you should do is cut out the piece, try to fit it into your frame, and if it doesn't fit, trim those edges down and lace your project on and then continue. But that's okay. I'm learning, I'm living. So those are my 2 framed pieces that I wanted to show you. So the rest of these items are either smaller FFOs or they're just finishes that I'm going to show you that I finished this year. All right, so the first finish that I finished this year, this was started and finished, I believe, like on January 2nd and January 3rd of this year. This is a little ornament. This was out of a Just Cross Stitch magazine, I think the February issue. I think it's by Frony Ritter Designs, and it's called Stinkin' Cute. And it's just this little like Valentine's Day skunk situation. I used just like stash DMC, whatever I had, and then I used a variegated DMC for the letters. So yeah, that was my first finish of the year. I need to just make this into a cute little ornament to put up. Honestly, I would just keep this up year round. I wouldn't just keep it up during Valentine's Day, but very cute. So that was my first very quick finish this year. My next finish was a whip from 2022. This is called, I believe it's called like Witchy Bathroom or something like that. It's by Stitchy Princess from Etsy. And here is my finish. I stitched this on some 32 count lime Lugana, I think by Zweigart. And I used all the called for DMC 2/2. And yeah, she's just like in her bathtub chilling. I haven't figured out what I want to do with this because it's like too big to make like an ornament, but it's too small in my, I mean, I could frame it and put it up in my bathroom. I think that'd be cute. But yeah, I just haven't found a frame for it yet or figured out what I wanted to do exactly, but it's very cute. So yeah, that was my second finish of the year that I can remember. My next finish, this was a freebie from Night Spirit Studio called Knifey. I stitched this on 18 count black Aida. This is lyrics from a band that I really enjoy. I'm trying to think, I have this board here. This is lyrics from a song called Knifey by a band I enjoy called Amel and the Sniffers. They're an Australian punk band. And Sage from Night Spirit Studio is also a big fan. So they made this free pattern on their website. And I used all the called for DMC. I think I started this in 2022 as well, like for my birthday or something. And I finished it this year. So yeah, this one should be very easy to find a frame for. I just need to do that. So again, something to look out for at like the thrift shops and stuff. Okay, my next finish is an FFO. This is the Bennett Sisters by Hemlock and Rye Stitchery. If you're not familiar, Hemlock and Rye Stitchery is Julie here on Flosstube, the Kansas City girl in the Colorado world. And she made this very cute pattern with all of the names of the Bennett sisters from Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice is one of my favorite pieces of media in all the world, in all time. And I mean the book, the miniseries, the movie, anything. So I Did not do it with the called for. I picked stash thread and fabric. I did it on a 40 count. I think it's like flax linen. And then I did some overdyed threads for each of the girls. And I just picked based off of their vibe. Obviously, it's more the 2005 movie vibe, but it makes sense in my head. So yeah, that's what I did. And then I just finished it with this stash fabric I had left over from making a dress for my sister. And yeah, I like it without trim or anything. I think it's very like cute. I think it's very simple. This was my first pillow finish. I'm happy with it. Yeah, so that was it. My next finish, this was a start and a finish this year. This was a Barbara Anna Designs stitch along. I think it was called the Star Woman Sal. And if you've watched me this year, you'll remember this project is infamous because I hated the fabric. Not the look of it, it's gorgeous. I picked a 32 count Picture This Plus Da Vinci Lugana, and it's opalescent Lugana, and the holes were just very tight and it was very hard to stitch on with 2 strands. But it looks awesome. I finished it, and that's all that needs to be said about that. So yeah, I have no idea what I want to do with this. I don't know if I want to put it in a frame. I feel like, yeah, I mean, a frame would look fine, but I don't know. I kind of want to do like a flat fold situation. Maybe, I don't know. It's cute though. I would even put this, like, I would even sew this into a project bag. It's so bright, and I know like I would have fun finding fabric to go with it, but anyways, so that was the next finish. Alrighty, my next finish is semi-FFO'd. This is Beware of Cat by Birds of a Feather. This is not out of print. You can still get this on 1-2-3 Stitch. But I finished this and I just popped it into this Mill Hill frame that I had. It's not like laced or like, I literally popped it in there because I wanted it up for Halloween this year. I haven't taken it down since Halloween, so it's just been up. But I stitched this on 32 count Dirty Linen, I think, by Witchelt. And I used all the called for threads, 2/2. So yeah, I'm really happy with this finish. I love it. It's very, very cute. I never want to take it down. I know that it's Halloween, but whatever. So yeah, very happy with that finish. My next finish was also, this is also an FFO. This is Closely Kept #1 by The Shaded Stitchery. This is my favorite FFO that I've done this year. It just, everything about it, I love it so much. So I stitched this on a 16 count Aida that I dyed myself with, I think it was wine Rit dye. And I stitched it all with DMC 814, I want to say. The darkest of like those maroons in that number span, you know what I'm talking about. And I stitched it with 2 strands over 1. And then I used my grandma's antique lace that we found in her sewing desk. I used a little like velvet ribbon at the top, made a bow, and it's mounted on a like wooden plaque thing that I painted black. Can't really see the wooden plaque from the front, but I don't really care. It gives it a really nice 3D effect. It hangs on my wall year round. It's very pretty. And every time I look at it, it reminds me of my grandma. Her name was Dorothy. And this just like, this is very Dorothy. I don't know. In my head, I'm like, it makes sense. So yeah, this was definitely my favorite finish. Definitely the most sentimental finish. And I just really love this pattern. So yeah, that was it. My next finish was, I'm calling it a finish. This was the Natural World Stitch Along by Pixel Pixie Cross Stitch that started, I think, January 1st of 2023 and ended at the end of the year. It was a 12-month stitch along. I stitched the first 3 parts, and then I decided I was having not a good time stitching on it because of the fabric that I chose. And it was eating up the floss that I chose. I just didn't like my choices. So I went ahead and did a bottom border that I just like made up. It's just like a checkerboard border. And I'm calling it a finish. My plan is to turn this, it's the perfect size and like shape to finish into a drum. So I'm gonna, make it into a little drum with a little pin cushion on top. And I think that'll be cute. There have been several people that have actually finished the entire stitch along. I would go check out that on Instagram. I think it's #NaturalWorldSal. But yeah, this is stitched on a 32 count orchid. I think orchid or exotic orchid Lugana. And then I used a classic Colorworks floss that I can't remember. I think it was Aura's Iris. And I used 2 strands. So it just definitely ate that floss up, and I didn't want to buy like a bunch more, and I wasn't really enjoying stitching on this. So yeah, so that was a finish. We're gonna say that. Okay, my next finish. This was a big deal. So I started this on May 1st, 2022, and I finished it May 1st of 2023. This is also by Hemlock and Rye, Julie, Kansas City Girl in Colorado World. This is Thurza Priscilla Dawes. Let me put her on a board. Let me give her the respect she deserves. Ugh, I'm obsessed. So the reason this is not FFO'd yet is because it's gonna need a custom frame, and I need to kind of figure that out. I have played around with some ideas, but I just haven't pulled the trigger. So, yeah, this is Thurza. You can see her name there. And I did the bright colorway. There are now 3 colorways. There is the antiqued, more muted colorway, the bright colorway that was taken from the back of the original sampler, and then Thurza Goes Goth. So if you're interested, check out Julie's Instagram, check out her Gumroad. She's now on Etsy as well. This is like my favorite. I don't know. This might be my favorite finish of the year just because it's so me and so bright and so fun. I mean, I just stitched it on 32 count white linen with 2 strands over 2, which I'm very happy with. I'm glad I made this bigger, and I'm glad I made it bolder, if that makes sense, because now my go-to is usually 40 count or 36 count with 1 strand, but I really love the way this came out. So I'm very proud of that finish. It's a lot of color changes, but I think I've said this before. Once you get the top part done, the bottom part goes much faster for some reason. I think it's just maybe a little bit less color changes and less like smaller motifs than the top, but it's phenomenal. I can't wait to get that framed. All right, my next finish, this is another Birds of a Feather that I believe you can still find on 123 Stitch. It is called Lost Spirits, and I believe I started this and finished it this year. And I stitched this on a 32 count, something linen by Zweigart or Witchold, I can't remember. And I used all the called for threads. Oh, this one's so cute. I do have an FFO idea. I definitely want to do like a flat finish with maybe some like fabric peeking out, like I don't know what you call that, but a flat finish. And then I want to put it on one of those like long wooden boards that you see like at craft stores year round, or you can get seasonal ones. But I want to do that, and then any piece, I mean, I can just keep it on there, but also I want to make it so that I can put like another piece on it, maybe put a magnet on the back. And if there are other pieces like this type of size, whether it's horizontal or vertical, I can like display it, if that makes sense. So yes, very cute. My next finish is a fully finished object as well. This also is one of my favorite FFOs I've done this year. I'm really proud of this one. This is 1905 Bird by Bendy Stitchy Designs. And I started this in 2022 and finished it this year. And this frame I found at a Goodwill in Virginia somewhere. I stitched this with the called for sulky pack and on the called for fabric, which was a 36 count baked clay by Fox and Rabbit. And yeah, I did a, I laced this onto a board and I put batting under the piece with obviously no glass. And I really like how it turned out. It's very tight in the frame, but I do like it because this frame is quite thick. So this actually just sits on my desk against the wall. And I just love looking at it. Those cherries, I love the cherries on this. It's so pretty. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with this. I know Michelle has mentioned she might be designing or has designed another piece that's using this sulky pack. So anyways, I might have to be on the lookout for that. My next finish, this was a start in 2022 and a finish this year. This was the Halloween wreath stitch along by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. It is not FFO'd into a pillow yet, but those are the plans. I stitched this with all of the kit material. So the fabric was a 28 count pewter linen by Picture This Plus, and I used all the called for DMC. And it's very beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love it. If you watch, I think my last video, I talked about, I just started the Christmas version of this. So I'm very excited to be starting that. This was such a blast to stitch. I kept up with this stitch along. It was a 12-month, I think about a 12 or 11 month. I think it was 11-month stitch along. And they released, you know, like a section of the wreath, and I kept up with it somehow. But I really enjoyed it. I think like 2 over 2 on 28 count is sometimes like really nice switch up when you're stitching on some smaller counts. I like switching it up sometimes, you know? All right, my next finish, this is also a fully finished object, sort of. I need to kind of fix the back here, but this was a Mill Hill kit. It's called Wanda's Wands. And I started this in 2022 and finished it this year. And it's very cute. And I just popped it in a Mill Hill frame, which I found this Mill Hill frame at a Goodwill. I found 4 of them. I was delighted, to say the least. And I liked, actually, I originally had gotten that black one for this piece, but I liked how this blue brought out the blues in the house. I thought that was super cute. So anyways, that was very fun to do. I definitely want to do more of these. I have one in stash that I'll definitely do next before I purchase any more, but it was very fun. And these are, again, these are kitted. They're stitched on perforated paper. They come with all the DMC, the beads, and the button. So very fun. So yeah, that was another finish this year. All right, now we're getting to the more recent finishes. I think we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 finishes left to show you. So this was started in 2022. This is Frimp by Night Spirit Studio. This is another freebie on her website. And I stitched it on 18 count Aida, black Aida. with 2 strands of the called for DMC. I love it. It's so stupid and fun, and yeah. I want to fully finish this into a hoop, but I just want to either paint the hoop or cover the hoop in fabric of some sort. I haven't decided. But yeah. So I'm happy to have that finished. That was one of my like oldest whips as well from early 2022. I'm happy to say, which I'll talk about this in my whip parade that I will film eventually soon here. I do not have any remaining whips from 2021. I have a good amount from 2022. A lot of them are big, and then the rest are all starts from this year. So, but I'm happy I'm not bringing any 2021 whips into the year. I'll take that. All right. My next finish, this is by the Witchy Stitcher. It was a charity pattern, and it is called Queer Goth. And I stitched this on the same 18 count black Aida. Yeah, I've started and finished this year. Very cute, very pastel goth. I'm into it. I kind of want to, I don't know if I want to, I could very easily finish this into a hoop. But I kind of want to make it into like the coffin shape and somehow fully finish it in that way. I'm hoping to find like around Halloween time or something, like a little coffin shaped box or something and like put this on it. Does that make sense? We'll see. Anyways, that was my next finish. And then, this finish was, I started this in May of this year, and it was for my partner for our anniversary in October, at the end of October. And I started it all the way in May thinking, oh, I'll have so much time. Like I'm starting this so early. And then I finished it on October 24th. My anniversary is the 25th of October. Yeah, finished it the day before, but it's fine. Got done. This is Reaping Love by Silver Creek Samplings or Samplers. Can't remember. And it's stitched on 20 count Aida. This is Fiber on a Whim in the color Cocoa. And I stitched it with mostly the called for DMC, and then I picked a Classic Colorworks for the overdyed for the grass there. I love it. It is a little too small to put in like a standard frame. So I'm thinking I might do a flat fold finish. I know my friend Elizabeth from Frizzy Lizzy Stitches has stitched this for her and her partner, her husband, and they, she did a flat fold as well for this, and it's really cute. It's in a lot of her videos in the background. So I might be watching some tutorials to do that so I can have this up for the both of us. So yeah, he was very happy with it. He was shook that I kept it a secret for several months and didn't tell him, so I could only stitch on it while he was gone. But yeah, I'm very happy with that finish. All right, this finish, this was, again, this is one of those ones that I've decided it's a finish. This was a whip from 2022. This was a free stitch along by Witch's Garden Crafts. It was on the Snarky and Modern Embroidery Facebook group. Anyways, this is It's Time for Halloween. And it's very cute, but I think what I'm gonna do is sew it into like a project bag, or kind of like maybe I might stitch a little bit more of the border, like so that it matches up, and then put like, I don't know. I think I want to just sew it into a project bag, to be honest, because I love Halloween project bags. So yep, and this is stitched on 18 count or 16 count Aida that I dyed myself with all the called for DMC with 2 strands. So yeah, that was one of my last finishes of the year, and now we're down to my last 2. So you've probably, if you've watched me before, you've seen these recently. This is the Lola Crow cross stitch. This is the first ornament in her creepy Christmas ornament stitch along. These are the carolers, creepy carolers. I stitched this on the same 20 count Cocoa Ada by Fiber on a Whim. And I haven't decided how I want to fully finish these. Probably into little tiny hoops if I can find hoops small enough. And yeah, all the called for DMC 1 over 1 square, 1 square of Ada. So yeah, that is that. Wow. And now, this was my 25th finish of the year. This is my Hello from Liz Matthews first day of Christmas tree that I'm very proud of. I stitched this on 36 count. I actually found out what the fabric is because I finally found it. It is Heritage by Picture This Plus. I was mistakenly saying it. It was Valor this whole time. It is not. It is Heritage. And I stitched this with all the called for DMC, 1 over 2. And yeah, that was my 25th finish. I might have a 26th finish, and I know like I'm already filming this, but I am doing a very much a rush job to try to get this gift done. I'll go ahead and show it. This is obviously not a finish. This is a whip. I just started this yesterday or the day before. This is a Mill Hill little Santa ornament. It's the Scottish Santa. So I'm showing you this now, okay? If I finish it, you'll see it in my next regular Flosstube update. I'm trying to pop a picture. Here it is. Sorry, here's the picture of what it's gonna look like finished. It's the Celtic Santas, and this one is called Scotland Santa. So I'm trying to get this done. We'll see. But hey, if I don't finish it before the end of the year, that's fine. But yeah, so I have 25, definitely have 25 finishes for the year, possibly a 26th, but I'm very happy with that number. We're not going to talk about how many I started this year. I'll talk about that in my whip parade, but I'm very happy with the progress I've had this year. I'm hoping next year will be maybe not more finishes, but bigger finishes, and some of my older whips, like some of those 2022 whips, I want to get finished. I know like a big push this year for me is going to be finishing Mary Morgan's, which is a 2022 whip for me, as well as the Cryptid Stitch Along. I want to get that framed in a matching frame with my Supernatural one, and that was also a 2022 whip. So those are big pushes for me this year. I will also be finishing so many more of these Christmas trees next year because I want them all on a garland and up for Christmas. So anyways, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed my finish parade. I finished lots of things. I'm very happy with the number. I want you to tell me, how many things did you finish this year? I am so curious. I know some of you are monogamous stitchers. I know some of you have, only 10 whips or 15 whips at a time. And some of you are like me and you have 60 whips or 100 whips or whatever it is. And some of you don't finish anything, and that's okay. Like, we're just here to have a good time. You know what I mean? It's a hobby. It's not a job. I do not get paid to stitch. I don't. I was about to say I wish I did, but like, I don't know. I think that might take the joy out of it. So anyways, thank you for joining. It has been fantastic. I will see you in my next Flosstube update, or maybe a little whip parade. And yeah, bye.